Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Luke Owen and this is wrestling news. While much of today's news will focus around last night's SummerSlam, we actually kick things off with a bit of news that broke just before the show began. Mike Johnson, a PW insider, broke the news that Kairi, the former Kairi Sane in WWE, will be returning to WWE. Now, while there's no time frame given in his report, Johnson wrote that the return would be imminent. Now, this led to some speculation from viewers waiting for SummerSlam to start a slam that Sane might get involved in the show, perhaps in the SmackDown Women's Three-Way as her former Kabuki Warrior tag partner was defending her title. But those who saw the show will note that Kairi did not return on the show, and Dave Meltzer has clarified Johnson's report, noting that she will fulfill her remaining dates in Japan before heading back to WWE, which would be around November time. Kairi Sane left WWE in 2021, and like a lot of departures from around that time, she actually left on good terms. She was given a video that chronicled her departure and was announced as an ambassador for the company in Japan before officially leaving in December 2021 when her contract expired. She has since expressed desires to return to WWE, so she's now got her wishes. Are you excited for Kairi Sane's return? Let me know in the comments down below. Moving over to SummerSlam now, and Roman Reigns once again retained his world title in the main event of the show, beating Jey Uso with the assistance of Jimmy Uso, who turned heel on his brother. Okay, so it wasn't Jey Uso, it wasn't Cody Rhodes, it wasn't Sami Zayn, it wasn't Kevin Owens, it wasn't Drew McIntyre, it wasn't even Logan Paul. So when will Roman Reigns be dropping the Universal Championship? Well, following his win over Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, it was reported that the planned main event for WrestleMania 40 next year would be the Roman-Cody rematch for the title, which would suggest that Reigns ain't dropping the belt before then. And according to Fightful Select, we now have a more definitive answer on when Roman Reigns will lose the Universal Championship. It will be whenever Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman say it f***ing ends. Well, that's us told, isn't it? It also tells us just how much power both Heyman and Reigns have over the Bloodline storyline in WWE and their creative. It was reported at the Madison Square Garden show last month that Roman and his Bloodline segment went 20 minutes over their allotted time, which threw the rest of the show into a rewritten chaos. Fightful add that Reigns and Heyman will have heavy input as to who that would be when it comes to the man to take the title off him. A higher up in WWE said of Heyman and Roman, they are constantly looking at every possibility. When they think it's the very best thing for business, they'll know to switch it up, do it right, and really make someone doing it. The source justified the decision to keep Reigns on top and continue how things are going, pointing at Roman, Jey, Jimmy Solo, and even Cody being in a better position now than they were before. But like a piece of string, how much longer is longer? In the post-show press conference, Heyman said that this story was in the bottom of the third, which is a sports ball reference, and said that they were only just hitting their stride. Despite being 3 years into this thing, Heyman said, "There's so much more for us to master. It's a craft. It's an evolving craft." Now look, I don't know baseball all that well. I'm more of a basketball man myself, but I have been informed by Tempest, who is from Canada and therefore does know about baseball, that he once worked retail at a baseball stadium where a baseball game went 19 innings. So if Heyman is talking about that game when saying that this one is bottom of the third, we could actually be looking at Roman beating Bruno's record. But as if to quell any of those worries, Heyman added, "Wait till you see what we've got in the fourth." With yet another swerve taking place in the Bloodline saga, you might be forgiven for thinking that perhaps Vince McMahon has some fingers in the creative pie. And at the post-show SummerSlam press conference, Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics posed this question to Triple H, specifically asking about McMahon's recent life-altering surgery. Firstly, Hunter noted that I've seen Vince come back from some remarkable things way faster than anybody else I've ever seen do it. He still brags that he was back quicker from 2 quad tears at the same time that I was from 1. How long that is? I don't know. As for the creative side of things, Hunter told Thurston that he would be silly to not get advice from Vince from time to time, but noted that he was not in the mix creatively on a daily basis. He said, is he in day to day? No. Is he in all the time? No. So if it's not McMahon in the creative hot seat, then I guess it's on Triple H to put out the fire that is his disgruntled women's locker room. It was revealed in the lead up to SummerSlam that 2 high-profile women's matches were pulled from the card. The Women's World Championship match between Rhea Ripley and and Raquel Rodriguez, and Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. While the former was only rumored for SummerSlam, the latter was actually planned before it was pulled, with Fightful Select reporting that WWE wanted to limit the amount of matches on pay-per-view cards so as for the show to not run long. Triple H was asked about this at the press conference, where he claimed that nothing was pulled from the SummerSlam card, cough bullshit cough, and even joked that SummerSlam was already quite a long show. But despite Hunter's claims, Becky Lynch has been passive-aggressively tweeting about not being at the show, making a big point yesterday to say that she was not in Detroit for SummerSlam, and posted a picture of herself making lemonade out of the lemon she was given not being booked. Rhea Ripley was also passively-aggressively tweeting about not being on the card and how instead she was just brought into Detroit for interviews, posting a picture of herself getting ready to step on me, mummy. I mean, getting ready to do some media rather than a match, and an upside-down smiley emoji when she was promoted to do even more media for WWE's TikTok. Stephanie Hypes of 10 Count asked Zoe Stark about the decision to not have Becky, Trish, Rhea, or Raquel on SummerSlam, which she defended, saying, "There is a reason, guys. Triple H is not just doing it to screw the women. He's not. He's doing it because he wants to make sure Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus have plenty of time to do it." And before you take to your keyboards and say, well, they could have just cut that pointless battle royal that had no stakes, you'd be wrong, because the stakes were sponsorship dollary dues, with Fightful noting the battle royal was done specifically as a vehicle for the Slim Jim partnership and LA Knight involvement in it. Yeah. One match that did get plenty of time was Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes, which ended their long-running rivalry that began the night after Mania. Rhodes beat Brock with several crossroads, and afterwards Brock took off his gloves for a show of respect, pulling Cody in for a hug and raising his hand. It was a moment of genuine humanity from Brock, which you don't really get to see very often, and according to Triple H, we weren't supposed to see it at all. Hunter claims that Brock hugging Cody and raising his hands was completely unplanned and was Lesnar going off script. Triple H said in the post-show presser that knowing Brock the way that he does, the moment was a true holy shit moment, with Cody clearly, genuinely earning that Brock Lesnar respect that ain't easy to come by. Elsewhere on the show, Seth Rollins retained his World Heavyweight Championship over Finn Balor in a fine match with an excellent finish built around the dissension between Judgment Day and the possibility of Damian Priest cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. Balor has now lost to Seth twice, and JD McDonough took to Twitter to note that Finn deserves better. It had been reported that McDonough was set to join the ranks of Judgment Day, which was even set up on television, but those plans were halted, according to Worked Wrestling on Twitter. And considering that McDonough was tossed out of the Slim Jim Battle Royal only a handful of seconds into it, it doesn't look like a big storyline push is coming his way all that soon. But with that said, Io Sky lost on SmackDown, then won the women's title 24 hours later, so what do I know? Speaking of Sky, she was joined at the post-show press conference by Dakota Kai, who made her return to TV last night to celebrate with her Damage Control buddies after Io won the women's championship from Belair, who had just won it from Asuka. It was a wonderful and heartwarming moment, as Kai is currently out with a torn ACL, which will likely keep her out of the ring for the rest of the year. In fact, Kai told the press conference that she was a ways away from returning to action, but promised a crazy 2024 when she is back. Let's just hope that your team doesn't implode before you get back. But that's all from me. Go and watch Pete Quinnell's review of WWE SummerSlam by clicking the video that's on screen right now, while I try and get some sleep after last night's live reaction stream. Good night.